Hello, friends. Welcome to the Brainworms Podcast, the podcast by and for the people of Branson, Missouri. I'm Joe.
Oh, busy. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Kaine.
And I'm Chris.
Okay.
And I'm Chris.
So is everything okay over there? You good?
I'm Chris.
He's Chris, yeah.
Yeah. No, I had some work to finish up. It's not ready yet, but it will be ready soon.
Okay, that sounds ominous.
Well, I just, the samples that you guys gave me.
Yeah. No, I was there.
I'm Chris.
Why you like this? And
I'm Chris.
We understand that. Did you do something to his brain? Did you extract something from it or put something in it?
You got the samples, not me.
Oh my God. Whatever. We're going to continue our reading of Spooky Spaghetti original Jeff the Killer, in which Jeff is a killer.
And I'm excited and happy about it.
Right.
I'm Chris.
And that'll be fun to do. But before we do that, we need to acknowledge our patrons who help support the show and, keep us from having to eat each other for sustenance, except for the clones of Kaine.
I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris, I put the patrons in Discord. You should read them out.
I'm Chris.
Come on. The people are waiting. This is your moment to shine.
I'm Chris. I'm Chris.
Chris.
I'm
please
Chris.
Read the... Kaine, would you like to read the patrons since Chris has forgotten?
Yeah, just send them to me.
Yeah, I got you.
Happy to do it. All right.
Let's thank the people.
Let's do a quick shout out to our patrons. Vice Admiral Picklefeather, Dara, Patrick less Neanderthal than Dara, Helene, David Taylor, and Oof Boots!
Oof Boots!
I'm Chris.
He's Chris.
All right, let's read this giant piece of shit.
Let's read some spooky spaghetti, but before we do that, I need to remind you to go to WeGiveYouBrainworms.com, where you can join these lovely humans, I assume they're humans, in supporting this show and everything that it does and will do, and whatever Kaine's getting up to over there.
Just don't look in here.
Yep. Don't forget that we have a Discord that you can also access from WeGiveYouBrainworms.com.
And I'm Chris.
And he's Chris, and that's all I have to say about that. Let's go read Jeff the Killer.
Yep. She said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. What's today? Asked Jeff as he stirs awake. Why, it's Billy's party. He was now fully awake.
Real quick.
What?
Kaine, let me stop you real quick. Because the mother and father are so not broken up about Lee going to juvie, and because it took so little convincing for them to be like, oh yes, it was Lee, not Jeff, I choose to believe that Lee was their least favorite child, so they're trying to get rid of him.
Sure.
That's why he came out it was me, and they're like, oh yeah, it was Lee, he's a troublemaker, take him away.
Get rid of him.
Exactly.
Yep.
Jeff, it's the day, she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. What's today? Jeff asked as he stirs awake. Why, it's Billy's party. He was now fully awake. Mom, you're joking, right? You didn't expect me to go to some kid's party after... There was a long pause.
As Jeff realized he had a morning boner.
Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past days.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Is that even English?
Now, get dressed. Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and pair of jeans and walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit.
Who dresses like that to go to a child's birthday party?
Fucking weirdos.
I mean, adults do so that they can show off, that they're normal, No. And it's all a facade, man. It's all the veneer of society, man. That was my impersonation of a enraged 14-year-old.
Okay.
Right. He thought, why would they ever wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party?
Okay, at least the book is aware of it.
Son, is that all you're going to wear? Said Jeff's mom. Better than wearing too much, he said, and then he pulled out his dick.
Thank you.
He didn't do that.
No.
His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile. Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression, said his father.
This is dumb.
Jeff grunted and went back up to his room. Dude, you knew this was going to be dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, what were you expecting?
Oh,
also,
yeah.
if this was written by, like, an adult, then it would, make more sense to make fun of it. But after a point, we're just reading something an enraged 14-year-old wrote. After a point,
I'm
what
not
can we
convinced
expect?
that this wasn't written by an adult.
Okay, that's a fair point, actually.
Yeah.
Now that you put it that way.
I don't think this was written by an adult, man.
I did an amount of research and found the original writer, at least there, the internet name that they wrote under. And I'm not convinced that they weren't of age when they published this.
Well, I mean, whether you're 16 or 18, you're still a kid.
Right. But also it's funny.
Jeff grunted and went back up to his room. I don't have any fancy clothes, assholes.
You don't buy me any fancy clothes.
Ah.
You would know that since you're my parents.
He yelled downstairs. Just pick out something, called his mother. He looked
That's
around
what he
in his
did to
closet for
start.
what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though. He looked around and found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which would go with dress pants.
The hell you say?
Finally,
What?
he found a white hoodie and put it on. You're wearing that, they both said. His mother looked at her watch. Well, no time to change. Let's just go, she said as she herded Jeff and his father
It'll
out
take
the door.
60 seconds to put a shirt on him.
They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house.
Yeah, it's across the street. How late can they run?
They knocked on the door, and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed.
Now, see, Joe, they gotta get out there before the 5 o'clock traffic, because that street just gets so busy after 5. Like, you can't cross it.
Is this
You're stuck there for an hour.
The road in Pet Cemetery? What are you talking about? Let's just go.
You're wearing that? They both said. Oh, yeah, I already did that.
Yeah, we're past that.
They knocked on the door, and it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids. I'm telling you, man, this was not an adult that wrote this. The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them, said Barbara. Jeff walked outside to a yard full of kids. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other off with plastic guns.
Is that?
I added
it's
the
written?
off.
Oh, okay. But like shit like that makes it a little murkier because at no point in the last 50 years did kids wear cowboy costumes to play in the yard.
I can show you photos of me and my brother in cowboy costumes
Same.
in the 80s.
I can show you that in the 90s.
Yeah, fair enough. It just seems like that was an outdated by the time that this story was written.
I get what you mean. And in Joe's defense, and you guys know about that thing I like to do on Xbox Live and all that, where I come across toxic people and get them to say horrible things and then get them banned and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had encounters with those people where I was absolutely convinced that it was just like an 18-year-old or something that was, just mad at the world. And then come to find out they were older than me. And I was so shocked.
Sure.
I couldn't believe it. So in Joe's defense, I want to say that.
They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us.
But that sounds awesome.
Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and a hat. Hey, wanna play? He said. No, kid. I'm way too old for this stuff. He then threw the gun on the ground and stepped on it. He didn't actually do that.
Okay, that actually wouldn't have been terribly surprising for Jeff to have done.
Yeah. The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face. Listeners, if you can, feel free to take pictures of your weird puppy dog face and send them to Chris. Please, said the kid. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot at the kids. At first,
that's when
he
he
thought it
learned
was
he liked
totally
it.
ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off Lee. So he played with the kids for a while until he heard a noise, a weird rolling noise.
Oh,
I wanna
no.
play
Then
a
it hit
game.
him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards.
You're lying to me.
Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with burning hatred.
Is that in the story?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
It's a hell of a jump.
I mean, I'd stop and tell you.
I know. Regardless, I needed confirmation. Like, I needed to ask you directly and have you answer in return directly.
Hello, Jeff, is it? He said. We have some unfinished business.
I want to get stabbed again.
Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you. You got my brother sent to JDC. Randy got an angry look in his eyes. Oh no, I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today.
Oh, no.
He pulls out a gun.
As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff. They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the balls and ripped them straight off.
That's not
That
what
was you.
happened.
It's not. He grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and they both started kissing each other passionately.
I wish.
Yeah.
Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their
Holy
pockets.
shit, they have guns.
Holy shit. This
I called
has
it. I fucking
escalated.
called
What the fuck?
No one interrupts or guts will fly, they said.
they're holding the parents up so that they can
They
fight
are?
it out.
That's awesome.
Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists
I hate
it.
that. I know you're indifferent, but it's very annoying to me
What's that?
that it keeps switching between past and present tense.
What are you talking about?
It's like it said, and I'm hearing you, so maybe I'm misremembering or mishearing, but it said Randy started kicking him in the face, past tense, and then switched to and walks toward the door. Like it's bouncing between past and present tense in the descriptions. In
Yeah,
a
that's
very
awful.
confusing way.
Yeah, it's unclear whether this is a recollection or a description of things happening in the moment.
Yeah.
Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabs his foot and twists it, causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help? He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he is kicked down
Is
to
this
the
a
ground.
wrestling match?
Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood.
It's like it's using video game physics, this fight.
That's why I don't think this was an adult that wrote
Yeah,
this.
maybe you're right.
Come on, Jeff, fight me. He picks Jeff up and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head.
Wow,
Lights
it's
it
only
on
noon
fire.
and the parents are getting the hard liquor out.
You've never been to a kid's birthday party before.
No, I never have.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least not as, not a child.
It's so loud. You need the drinking.
Yeah, the vodka, that's how you end up with all of the kids, most of them surviving the experience.
Fair enough.
Fight! He throws Jeff back into the living room. So I can tell you that if you hit someone over the head hard enough with a bottle to break the bottle,
They're unconscious.
no, they're gonna die.
Yeah. breaking glass bottles is much harder than
Than movies make it out to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, nothing would please me more than if the kids and the parents came in and started going, fight, 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 fight.
Waving money like background characters in Street Fighter.
Yes, yes.
I'm just saying that Jeff is done.
Yeah.
That bottle over the head. I mean, honestly, the beating he's already taken, he's like maybe 12, maybe 10, maybe 14. I don't know how old
It's
this
hard
kid
to tell,
is.
yeah.
But he'd be fucking over with right now.
Yep.
This would be done.
No, I mean, yeah, like, I've heard one person describe what it's like to get punched in the face, and they said, like, the weirdest thing about it is first getting over the shock of becoming aware that you've been punched in the face.
Has this person only ever been punched one time in the face?
No, like they've been in fights, and that was the first time they were punched in the face.
Oh, okay.
So, like, there's just a level of like, system shock that happens just from, one At least if you're not experienced.
Well, I mean, this kid's been stabbed in the shoulder too.
Yeah. He's lost a lot of blood. He's been
stabbed in the shoulder. He's been thrown through a door.
And his head's been curb stomped.
Yep.
Yeah, and now it's had a bottle broken over it.
Mm-hmm. A liquor bottle too. Like
so he's done, dude.
Yeah.
This is a dead Jeff. That's what we're dealing with here.
Yep.
This is not Jeff the killer. This is Jeff the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get lit on fire, and that's how he's got his weird face.
He throws Jeff back into the living room. Come on, Jeff, look at me. Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood. Not a good description.
No, it was like riddled with glass chunks, maybe.
I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just going to sit here and let him rot in there for a whole year? You should be ashamed. Jeff starts to get up. No, he doesn't. Jeff goes into convulsions. Jeff shits himself. Jeff dies in the ambulance. Mm-hmm. Oh, finally.
You know what would have been really metal is if Randy disemboweled Jeff, and then Jeff strangles Randy with his large intestine to death.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Jeff is now to his feet, blood and vodka on his face. Probably not.
Yeah.
Once again, he gets that strange boner, the one in which his pee-pee gets hard. It's
not what it says, is it?
It's not what it says, Joe.
No.
Once again, he gets that strange feeling, the one in which he hasn't felt for a while. Finally, he's up, says Randy as he runs at Jeff. That's when it happens. Something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed.
Yeah, he's got brain damage.
He does. All rational thinking is gone, and now he's going to have a speech impediment for the rest of his life. No, that's not in there.
Is this the origin of who's that boxer? The guy who talks like this.
Guys, quit interrupting. This is important shit we're discussing right now.
Okay, all right.
His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. All he can do is kill.
All he can do is breathe and eat through a tube.
And pile drives him to the ground. He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the heart. That's what it says.
Was he
I'm
trained
not fucking with you.
by Pai Mei from Kill Bill?
Apparently, the punch causes Randy's heart to stop as Randy gasps for breath.
Yeah,
Jeff hammers down on him.
As actually
punch
made of spooky
after
spaghetti.
Punch. Blood gushes from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies.
Whoa.
And the parents are just,
I would just like to state before I continue.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable response to being stabbed, thrown through a door, and then having a bottle broken over your head. If you're still conscious and the fight or flight mechanism has forced you into fighting for your life, whatever you do to the person that's done this stuff to you is totally self-defense.
Yeah. Why has no one called the police, by the
way? because they would just come in and shoot everybody.
Well, no, those two kids have guns. Troy and Keith. Everyone is looking at Jeff now. The parents. The crying kids.
What did you do, Jeff? I can't
believe
Randy, so traumatized.
I'm just kidding.
Now.
Randy's not looking at him.
No,
Randy's dead.
Even
Troy and Keith, although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff.
Yeah,
it's
just
here it
your
comes.
Eyeballs.
Get ready.
Stop.
Jeff sees the guns trained on him and runs for the stairs. As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him. Each shot missing.
Why is this suddenly a John Woo movie?
Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow up behind. As they let out their final rounds of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs the towel rack and rips it off the wall. Troy and Keith race in, knives ready.
Where are the parents?
In the film version of this, Jeff will be played by Jackie Chan.
No, he won't. No, he won't. In the film version of this, it's just really uncomfortable, like robots, like the I Feel Happy video.
I love that video, yeah.
That's all it is. Every character is just one of those robots.
Okay, all right.
Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and bangs the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard, and now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck. He pushed him into the wall.
These are really violent kids.
Yeah.
A thing of bleach fell down on top of him from the top shelf.
A thing of bleach, huh?
It burnt both of them,
That's
and
what you
they
went
both started to scream. Jeff wiped his eyes as best as he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight into Keith's dick.
Commercial bleach is not that pure. Like, it would irritate your skin, but it wouldn't.
What he's talking about is like mustard gas.
Yeah.
Swung it straight into Keith's head. As he lay there, bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile. I hate this person and their use of the word ominous.
Yeah, it's not good. Because all of the other words that they use are so well placed.
That's the one that stands out to me. I think it's because it was the first line in the headline of the newspaper. It just
Not
pissed
only
me
that,
off.
but like you can tell that the writer thinks it's a really great word because it has 3 syllables in it.
What's so funny? Asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on. What's funny, he said, is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol. Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka.
Unless you have a Zippo lighter, lighters go out when you disengage the...
Also, I'm not entirely sure that vodka's high enough proof to be flammable.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Last I read, because there was one day where I was curious, like, how do you make a Molotov cocktail? And it's a misnomer that you can just light.
Yeah, it's gasoline that you make Molotov cocktails with. Like, there are commercially available liquors that are totally flammable, but I don't think vodka is one of them.
And I don't think, is bleach flammable?
I don't think it is.
Especially like the bleach that you can buy at the store is like 97% water.
Wait, is it, Kaine?
Yeah, it's not flammable.
Okay.
No.
So what really happens is Randy smiles like, you're covered in bleach, and then he throws a lighter at it and it bounces harmlessly off
it's
of
just
Jeff's
a
chest.
pick, so as soon as he takes his hands off it goes off, and it just bounces off his face, and he goes, ouch.
Hold on. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the lighter went out because vodka and bleach are not flammable. So Jeff then reached down, grabbed onto Keith's lower jaw, and ripped it free from his face.
Wow.
Blood sprayed all over the room, cascading the walls in a crimson... No, okay, that's
You're just having fun.
That was just me.
Yeah.
As soon as the
This sounds
flame
like the
made
origin
contact
of the
with
Doom
him,
guy.
the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the vodka burned him, the bleach bleached his skin.
That's not
Just-
how anything
What?
works.
Let out a yell that would curl your hair. And before he could move, I grabbed me a chair and said, watch him, folks, because he's a thoroughly dangerous man.
What the fuck?
No, now hang on.
You
I have
may
a
not
question.
know it, but this man's a spy. He's an undercover agent for the FBI, and he's been sent down here to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan.
What the fuck kind of Ray Stevens bullshit just came out of your dumb mouth?
I just...
It's a Charlie Daniels song called Easy Rider.
Okay.
So here's my question to the author. What is the point of giving your character third-degree burns and bleaching their face? Like, those cancel each other out.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, you can't have both of those things on the same skin.
yeah, I don't think this guy has ever seen a person with third-degree burns. It's awful.
Jeff let a terrible screech as he caught on fire. He tried to roll out the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol made him a walking inferno.
Because, you're in a bathroom. There's nothing in there that can
No,
assist you with a
no.
fire.
Not a whole ass shower that you can turn on.
Not a whole ass bathtub.
real quick, and I'm sorry to interrupt again, but Kaine, as you described the character igniting in the words of the author, it just made me think of Shakespearean wordplay, and I boarded the king's ship, every cabin I flamed amazement. And just, God, I wish we were reading that right now.
He ran down the hall, fell down the stairs. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff. Not that they wouldn't have already been screaming
Mm-hmm.
Because he murdered the shit out of someone.
Someone should have called the police at this point.
Right. There's been guns fired. It's just, whatever. Everybody started screaming as they saw Jeff, now a man on fire, dropped to the ground nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother kissing Santa Claus.
Fucking what?
I don't even know what that's a reference to, and it's funny.
The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and the other parents trying to extinguish the flame. Then that's when he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face. He couldn't see anything.
Do you treat
But he could
burns
tell
with
that it was a
casts?
cast. I added that in.
Yeah.
He couldn't see anything, but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body.
Do you treat stab wounds with casts?
He tried to
I
stand
think that's
up,
what the stitches are for.
but he realized that there was some tube in his arm. And when he tried to get up, it fell out and a nurse rushed in. I don't think you can get out of bed just yet, she said as she put him back in his bed and reinserted the lube.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because,
just
if
rechanging
there's
words.
one thing about IV drips is, it's just a tube they stick into your vein. They don't
IVs
have
are
any
pretty easy to pull
adhesive.
out if you yank on them, honestly.
Well, yeah, but he raised up out of bed and it fell out.
Mm.
He didn't yank on it. Joe, I think you were inserting more exciting things into the story, because that didn't happen. Nowhere did it say that he yanked it out.
That's fair.
I'm going to skip ahead.
Are you just bored?
Hold on. Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep. The end.
No, we have to finish the story. There's not that much left.
Why don't you not tell me how to live my fucking life, Joe?
Why you like this?
Honey, are you okay? She asked. Oh, wait. Finally,
No!
after
he has
hours,
third-degree burns on his
he
face.
heard
He's
his
not
mother.
fucking
Stab
okay.
wounds.
Honey, are you okay? She asked. Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered and he was unable to speak. Oh, honey, I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed of trying to attack you, they decided to let Lee go. This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the lube coming out of his arm. Just kidding. It's
That's
a tube.
weird. It's like
It's
some
a
kind
tube.
of fucked up Spider-Man.
Remember the tube coming out of his arm.
Oh god, like a gay porno Spider-Man. He shoots lube out of his arm.
Why would it have to be gay porno?
Let me have this.
Why can't it just be any porno? It's polite to use lube. All right. It doesn't matter who your partner is. It's polite to have lube. Okay. Go find sex. Okay.
Can we finish the book, please?
This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his arm. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again. Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her
Which
goodbyes.
is good
The
since
next
he was
couple of
never
weeks
formally
were
sentenced.
those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then came the day where his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it. What he
Yeah,
could
a
be-
few days later.
Mm-hmm. Whenever they got around to it. They had
what
shit to
he
do.
would look like. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face, everyone was on the edge of their seats because they didn't have normal-sized seats there. They were all half seats.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They waited until the last bandage holding the covering of his face was almost removed. Let's hope for the best, said the doctor.
That's not what you want to hear a doctor say.
He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. Lee and Jeff's dad stared at... Why doesn't Jeff's dad and Jeff's mom have names?
I don't know.
Also, necessary plastic surgery is totally not a thing in this timeline.
Yeah.
What happened to my face? Jeff said.
You
He
were
rushed
on
out of bed
fire!
and ran to the
What do you
bathroom. He
think
looked in the
happened to
mirror
your fucking
and
face?
saw the cause of distress. His face. It's horrible.
Yeah.
His
You
lips
were
were
lit on
burnt to a
fire.
deep shade
I
of
mean-
red.
I mean, this isn't the end game. Like, they can do some reconstructive surgery, my dude.
His face was turned into a pure white color, and his hair singed from brown to black. That's not how
That's
hair
not
works.
how any... What the fuck?
He slowly put his hand in his face. It had sort of a leathery feel to it now.
Oh
He
my
looked
God.
back at his family, then back at the mirror. Jeff, said Lee, it's not that bad. Not
I'm
that
kind
bad,
of
said
surprised
Jeff.
that they
It's
didn't
perfect!
just hand him a Victorian-ass hand mirror to look at himself in.
His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching. Jeff, are you okay? Okay, I've never felt more happy.
Oh my God.
Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, his
Thank you for reminding us of things that
now
happened
he was
in
left
the story.
as a crazy killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know. Ah! Doctor, said Jeff's mom, is my son...
Doctor.
In the head?
Yeah, because
yes,
that's what
this
a
behavior is
doctor
typical for patients
does.
that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here and we'll give him a lobotomy.
Do you think we would enjoy this podcast more if we took very large amounts of painkillers?
I would enjoy this podcast more if I had a frontal lobotomy.
They don't. They're going to give him a psychological test, not a lobotomy. Oh, thank you, doctor. Jeff's mother went over to Jeff. Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go. Jeff looks away from the mirror, his face still formed into a crazy smile.
No.
Okay, mommy. Ha, ha, ha. His mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes.
Do you get it? Because his actual reaction should have been horror at his face, but he likes it.
Yeah.
Get it?
Because he's crazy. Please continue.
This was written by the angriest 14 suburbanite.
This is what came in, said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore.
What?
Now they were clean of blood and now stitched back together.
Well,
they didn't
why?
bring him different. They just fixed the clothes that he was burned alive
Jeff's
in?
mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they left, not knowing this was their final day of life. Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheek. Jeff, what are you doing? Asked his mother.
It's pretty clear
Jeff
what he's doing.
Looked over to his mother. I couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black. Jeff, your eyes. His eyes were seemingly never closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelid so I could forever see myself, my new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing that her son was going insane. What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful? Yes, son, she said. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face. She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep. Honey, get the gun, She stopped as she saw Jeff in the doorway,
solve that.
holding a knife. Mommy, you lied. That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting both of them. His brother Lee woke up, startled by some noise. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back to sleep. As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling in his winky.
No.
He got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him.
I always feel
looked
like
up
somebody's watching me.
Before Jeff's hand covered his mouth, he slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge it into Lee. Lee thrashed here and there, tried to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said. Just go to sleep.
I have never been less afraid of the Jeff the Killer picture than
I
now.
always feel like somebody's watching me.
So like the police show up to this scene and like, this kid just murdered someone and then got 3rd-degree burns and now his family's murdered and he's missing. I wonder who the murderer is.
I mean,
I don't
the
know.
police
This
are
is
fairly
stupid.
incompetent. Yeah, this was pretty dumb. I don't know. Do we have anything to say about this, or should we just?
Can we just finish?
Yeah. Yep. If you like this, I can't imagine why you would. But I don't know. You can if you want. Go to WeGiveYouBrainworms.com and support us with your money via Patreon. Look at our other things.
Joe,
We're sorry.
Don't ever do this again.
We're sorry. I can't make any promises.
right.
Whatever. Thank you for listening. I'm going to push the button now.
Same.
This has been a production of Brainworms Presents. Any copyrighted content contained within is used for purposes of review. Brainworms Podcast is David Combs, Kaine Magdalen, Christian Schaefer, and Joseph Wells. The theme music is Hodgepod No. 1 by Brian Davis. If you like what you heard, you can support us and learn about our other projects at WeGiveYouBrainworms.com or by leaving a review on your favorite listening app.
You have a dance with the devil in the pale moonlight.